Hi, bold vocalists. It's Carissa here, and we're on Love Your Larynx day 8, I think. We've been through a lot together this week. The first week was kind of some basic information like how the voice works and how to take care of it. And in this second week, we're going to get into a little farther, going into how to actually love on yourself as a vocalist, how to love your larynx in a more abstract way. So today I'm following up on a 3-part series that has to do with practicing. So we got Pimp Your Practice, which is kind of some mindset shifts and some physical shifts you can create in your space to try and make practicing more of something you really want to do versus something you feel like you're supposed to do. Secondly, yesterday we did Know Your Why, and that one gets a little hard. So I'll put another link in the email. If you'd like to work through that with me one-on-one, I will give you some of my time so we can boil that down, because sometimes those answers, even though we write them in front of our face, it's kind of hard to see it from your own perspective. So I'd be happy to help you there. I'll put an email if you'd like to email me. I'll put a link and you can reach out and I'll help you boil that down. Why are we singing or why are you singing? And then today what I'm going to do is help you with that information. Take it and put it into a really workable, manageable system so that you can be practicing regularly and like up leveling your singing game really rapidly, because the body adjusts to practice pretty quickly. It seems like a really big mountain to climb, but it actually happens really quickly if you're putting the energy in. And I think that was on the Pimp Your Practice guide, where attention goes, energy flows. So even small bouts of practice are going to carry you pretty far. So let me share my screen. I'll show you our download for the day and kind of show you what we're working with. Where'd you go? Practice. Okay. Great. So I'm going to put this into full screen. Oops. Okay. So we've got a little kind of a worksheet here on the first, and then the second is your actual chart that you can print out and put on your wall or just keep it on your fridge, whatever you want to do. So step 1, we're going to take that why that you came up with yesterday and we're going to turn it into an affirmation. So a quick example of that is like if you really want to, you find out that the reason you sing is because you want to be heard on a political level, like you want to create change in the world, then an affirmation you could create out of that would be, my voice is individual but powerful. The world is waiting to hear what I have to say. Or if you are, you get the idea. If you're somebody who wants your family to remember you fondly after you've gone, it's like my voice creates a loving environment for those around me, and my grandchildren will talk about how loved they were because they'll remember my songs, something like that. So it can be shorter too. Those are a little complicated. Moving down, these go down the left and then down the right. Step 2, you're going to identify how much time you have to dedicate to singing this week. And it can change from week to week, but it's good to kind of keep a general. I think you'll find when you put this into practice, if you you can probably find about the same amount of time every week. And of course, there's going to be exceptions. But the problem with making exceptions is that we break these promises to ourselves. And then we start to feel this yucky shame. Like, oh, I said I was going to practice on Tuesday and then I didn't. And then it kind of starts boiling down in this spiral that like, and eventually it's like, well, I said I'd practice Tuesday, but I didn't practice Tuesday. So I'm kind of flaky. I don't trust myself and I'm not worth this. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm an unreliable person and I'm not worth giving my own self my time, right? So it starts on this surface level, but it translates over time. The more promises you break to yourself, the less trust you have in yourself, okay? And others might find you trustworthy because maybe you're giving them reasons to trust you, but you're not really giving yourself a reason to trust you. And this relationship is very important with everything, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind. If you're not showing up for yourself, you're creating a pattern of mistrust with yourself. So this time we want you to identify how much time you have this week, and eventually, hopefully, it will be kind of a week to week thing. You can balance it out as you experiment. So I don't want you to people please here. Don't people please yourself and don't people please me. Don't say what you think I want you to hear or what I want to hear. I want you to really be realistic. And if it's only an hour of time, and this is outside of your lesson time, outside of your band rehearsals, outside of your gigs, right? So this is you and just you practicing. If it's only an hour, you can get a lot done in 1 hour per week. That's 4 15-minute intervals you could take, or one half an hour and two 15-minute intervals that you could break up. Everybody can find 15 minutes. You scroll on your phone, look at your screen time on your Apple. If you're an Apple person, go look at your screen time for the day or the week and see what it says. And then tell me you can't find 15 minutes or a half an hour. Okay, so when you find yourself doing that mindless stuff, ask yourself, could I run through my song really quick? Could I do my YouTube video for 10 minutes? So let's say it's 2 hours that you come up with. I think the next step is dividing that chunk into smaller blocks. And I kind of already started in on this, but so if you have 2 hours or an hour and a half is the example I gave here, that could be 3 15-minute sessions and one 45-minute session. So in your 15-minute sessions, you're just going to throw on a YouTube or run your scales, run whatever exercise. I've got you working on that 10 to 15 minutes of just exercise. It's like going for a walk around the block. Just move your body, move your voice, let the voice be used. And then on that longer session for 45 minutes, you're also going to do about a 10-minute warm up. And then you're going to jump into your song or your rep, whatever you're working on. And if you have a trouble spot in that song, I suggest you start there instead of starting at the beginning and working down. I suggest that you start in the difficult spot, okay? And give it some attention, break it apart, slow it down, isolate it. Step 4, we're going to take these time blocks that you established and physically put them into your calendar. So there's a calendar down here. I'll scroll down. This is our chart that you can print out and use. So you can actually schedule them here. Monday, 15 minutes, Wednesday, 15 minutes, Thursday, 45 minutes, Friday, 15 minutes, right? And you can put those times there. And that is what I'm talking about, but it's also not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about here is your daily planner, your Google Calendar, wherever you keep track of your life, your family calendar, however you remember your appointments and your to-do list. If you don't have this going on, I don't know how you survive, first of all, but secondly, you should consider it. It makes life a lot more organized. So put them in your schedule and block off the time. And then the hard part is you have to honor that time. So I want you to think about those 15-minute blocks or that 45-minute block like a dinner invitation with your boss or a doctor's appointment. Now, both of those are really unpleasant. I wish I could come up with something that was like an obligation that was more pleasant. A massage appointment, let's say. But something you feel obligated to go to. You feel like canceling would hurt you more than help you, okay? So honor that space for yourself. Step 5 is determine your reward. This is where it gets really super fun. So start with one small reward per week. See if you can make it through your 7-day goal first. Don't go too far too fast. We don't want to set ourselves up for failure here. We don't want to make this so rigid that you fail and then your subconscious gets to be like, see, I told you, you're totally untrustworthy. You're a complete failure. You're never going to be good at anything like this. Why did you even try? So those beliefs, they run in your head a lot. And if you bite off too much, more than you can chew, it's going to turn into just a reinforcement of that feeling of failure, okay? So 1 week at a time, determine your reward. This is the pizza party if you're going with my kindergarten gold star analogy. For me, some of my rewards, I love champagne, I love massages. I'm clearly just bougie. I like traveling, things like that. So, and they don't have to be expensive. Those are all very like uppity things. You could also just block off an hour of time to go play with your dog in the park, or you could buy yourself a new book on your Kindle. Like it can be something small. It doesn't have to be attached to money. It's just something you love. So give yourself something you love for doing this, because it is an effort to create this discipline and to show up for yourself. And besides the feeling of like, yay, good job, I did it, I want you to have a physical reinforcement of this so that you can actually look forward to it. And it shifts it around even more. We're shifting it from a negative to a positive, okay? Step 6, give yourself a check mark or a sticker on the chart when you show up to practice. Yeah, I linked to some really super cute microphone stickers. You could buy them off of Etsy. Or you can just use a Sharpie or a pen and make an X over your practice spot like you did it. Good job, check mark, yay. And then as you watch it accumulate over time, I want you to feel into that sense of accomplishment. I want you to allow yourself to have a moment of pride. Um, Not egoic pride, like I'm the best singer there ever was, but like pride, like, hey, I showed up, I did this, I love me. I love you, me. I want you to be happy and self-expressed. So I did this for you. And your inner light, your inner you is gonna be like, thank you. And they sing like a gospel choir in my mind. And then you have to treat yourself. So this is like the tricky part, right? We can set the idea for reward. We can follow the practice tracker and we can actually hit it. But then sometimes it's like we forget to actually do the reward. Like you need to get on Amazon, go buy that book, or, you know, make a little date night with your friends, or, you know, do the thing and actually do it, because this is part of it. If you don't actually get the reward and the endorphin hit and the pride from getting the reward and the little pat on the back, then this is not going to work. So we really do want you to make sure you actually follow through with your treat yourself. So down here, we're going to go into the practice tracker. It's very self-explanatory, but you're going to just fill out the week. This is 1 month worth. You fill out the week, your affirmation. So we talked about that, and it can be simple. I'm worthy of being heard. My voice is more powerful than I know. I can heal my relationships with my voice. I am capable of booking 15 gigs next month. Anything that you want to believe about your voice that you would like to kind of drive into your brain as something that replaces a negative thought. An affirmation is a new place to focus your mind that is not centered in fear or negativity, right? So if you have a fear that there aren't enough gigs for you, then maybe your affirmation is, if I sing the songs that feel true to my soul and put work into it, the gigs will come, right? Something that's going to offset a negative belief you've got. Your goal for the week. So this is more, and I'll talk about this very quickly. SMART goals. This is actual like an outcome that you want to see. So my goal is not only practice 2 hours divided into 4 chunks, or an hour and a half into 4 chunks, but my goal is also to complete 1 new song. So make it something that's a tangible idea, not just get better. Or, I mean, and sometimes that goal is just show up for practice, and that's okay. If that's your goal, that's okay. So I'm gonna walk you through what a SMART goal is. It's an acronym. The S stands for specific, the M measurable, the A attainable or achievable, the R is relevant, and the T is time bound. Okay. So if we were going to create a goal for this week that was a SMART goal, we want to be specific. 1 new song into my repertoire, or show up for practice 4 times. Measurable is, did you do it at the end of the week? Do I have 1 new song? I do. Did I show up 4 times? I do. That's measurable. So don't just say like, learn new songs. Is that measurable? No, because that's as many songs as you can think of, and it's just out there floating in the ether. We want these concrete weighted goals that are like right in your face. Okay. Okay, so measurable, 4 days of practice, 1 new song. You could measure like a note on the piano. I don't recommend that one as much. I'm having a hard time thinking of them, but you get the idea, I hope. And if you don't, let me know. I'll help you. A is achievable. So this is where we have to be a little realistic. I encourage people to dream really, really big, but you know, we also have to recognize that there's a bridge between where we are now and where we're going. So if your dream is to sing at Carnegie Hall, that's a very classical reference for a contemporary teacher. Let's say if your dream is to go viral on YouTube, right? That's like down the road. If you're really at that point right now where you're making content and it's getting your channels up and running, and your chops are there and your songs are complete and you can sing them memorized and play them beautifully, then that's a pretty attainable goal, right? But if you're just starting out and you don't have a YouTube channel and you're still learning how to play the guitar and you're still writing out the second verse to your song, well, that's not an attainable goal right now, right? We're going to fail at getting a viral YouTube video because we don't have the framework in place. So then we take a few steps back and we make that attainable goal, like set up my YouTube channel, get the artwork in place. Little bites, right? Little bites. We want more wins than fails here. It's okay to fail, but you want to start to feel really good about yourself, which means you need to win, win, win. Consistency builds confidence. Okay. Relevant goal. This is where I encourage you to look at what's happening in your life. If you're a pro musician, do you have a gig coming up that's, for example, once a month I do the rhythm and blues review over at Rabbit Hole. So I usually end up singing backgrounds on maybe 3 to 6 songs, and I sometimes sing a lead. So my goal for this week might be learn backups for 3 of my songs, and then next week learn backups for the other 3 songs, and then the following week, get my song in order. And then by the time that 4th week rolls around, a month out from my gig, I'm ready to go. So these are relevant goals. You want to make it something that's going to help move you forward in your practical day-to-day life of singing. Time-bound goals, this is why the calendar is there. You're basically breaking your times down into 1 week increments here, or you could even use this whole sheet and make a goal long, a month-long goal, excuse me. So yeah, fill in your week, fill in your positive thought that you'd like to replace a negative thought with, create a goal that is SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And then determine your reward before you start. And then the last step is treat yourself. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. You gotta feel good. And I encourage you to really allow yourself to enjoy that reward. Okay, I'm going to get off here. This is a Saturday. Hopefully you're having a wonderful weekend. If you're not caught up, tomorrow is an implementation day again. So you will have no new content, just links to stuff we've already done, and you can kind of go back and revisit anything you've missed. I hope you have an awesome day. Happy shows tonight if you're playing, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.